Welcome to the deep dive. You've brought us quite the portfolio. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a tech enthusiast's dream with a focus on quantum computing, AI, cloud technologies, and fintech. This isn't just some casual observer picking stocks here.
Yeah.
You're a Fortune 500 solutions architect, so
Hmm.
clearly there's some serious thought behind these choices. And the performance, let's just say it speaks for itself. Up 5% year to date, 58% in the past year, and an incredible 136% over 2 years. Clearly, you've got a knack for picking high growth companies. So let's dive into some of the top performers and see what insights we can uncover.
Yeah. What immediately stands out to me is the focus on cutting-edge technologies, but also the mix of established players and some intriguing up-and-comers.
Right.
It suggests a long-term vision, a belief in the transformative power of these technologies. It's not just about riding the hype wave. It's about understanding the underlying potential and identifying the companies that are truly positioned to capitalize on it.
Okay. Let's start with a company that caught my eye, Broadcom. Ticker symbol AVGO. While everyone's talking about NVIDIA in the AI boom, Broadcom has quietly seen a 67% gain in the past year. But what's really interesting is that you've chosen them, and they're not just riding the AI wave, they're buying their way into an even stronger position. The VMware acquisition for $69 billion, that tells me you're seeing long-term value, not just short-term hype.
Right. Broadcom is strategically positioning themselves as a key player in the AI landscape. Their expertise spans semiconductors, hardware, and software/services. They're not just making chips, they're creating a comprehensive ecosystem. For example, they're powering Meta's metaverse chipsets. We're talking about spatialized chips designed to handle the immense processing demand of virtual and augmented reality experiences. They're also supplying Google's TPUs, tensor processing units, which are specifically designed for machine learning and AI applications. That suggests you're not just looking at AI in the abstract, but considering the specific hardware that will enable its widespread adoption.
And their ambition to potentially acquire part of Intel, that's a bold move. It signals their intention to be a dominant force in the semiconductor market. But tell me, with all the hype surrounding AI stocks, how does Broadcom's valuation compare? Could this be an undervalued opportunity?
That's a great question. Broadcom's valuation is indeed relatively attractive compared to some of the more hyped AI players. They're generating substantial revenue, have a solid track record of profitability, and their strategic acquisitions indicate a commitment to growth. While there's always an element of risk, Broadcom appears to be a well-positioned company with significant upside potential.
All right, from a potential under-the-radar play to a company that needs no introduction, Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, at a market cap of $3 trillion, they're a true behemoth. And of course, their AI initiatives, like the stake in OpenAI, are making headlines. But I'm curious, what aspects of Microsoft's business particularly stood out to you when you were selecting them for this portfolio?
While the AI story is compelling, I think what's often overlooked is Microsoft's mastery of ecosystem integration and their growing dominance in cybersecurity. Think about it. Azure, Office 365, Teams, they've created a seamless, integrated experience that businesses and individuals rely on daily. It's this stickiness that creates incredible value and generates recurring revenue.
You're right. I use their products constantly, and the way they all work together is incredibly efficient. Could you give us a specific example of how this integration plays out in a way that's driving value?
Absolutely. Imagine using Microsoft Teams and having AI seamlessly manage your documents, summarizing key points, and even suggesting edits. This is happening right now. It's this kind of intelligent integration that's giving them a competitive edge. And then there's cybersecurity.
Right. Cyber attacks are a constant threat these days, and it seems like Microsoft is taking the lead in addressing that concern.
Exactly. Microsoft is becoming a dominant force in cybersecurity, a market projected to reach $22 billion by 2025. That's a 75% increase. So even though their stock has been relatively flat recently, their long-term growth potential remains incredibly strong. They're addressing critical needs in a rapidly evolving digital landscape.
From the established giant to a company that's seen explosive growth since you invested. Cloudflare, ticker symbol NET. We're talking over 100% growth. Cloudflare's reach seems impressive. What specific metrics stood out to you when you were researching this company for the portfolio?
Cloudflare is essentially making the internet faster and more secure. They're the unseen force ensuring websites load quickly and protecting them from attacks. What impressed me is that 95% of internet users are within 50 milliseconds of their network, and they have 35% of the Fortune 500 as paying customers. These numbers highlight their incredible scale and impact.
Those are some seriously impressive stats. And when we look at their financials, are they translating this growth into profitability?
Their financials tell an even more compelling story. Since 2019, they've achieved a 42% compound annual growth rate in revenue, with gross margins hovering around an impressive 77%. And what's exciting is that they're approaching profitability. As long as the demand for app infrastructure keeps growing, which it inevitably will, they're in a prime position to capitalize.
All right, from the backbone of the internet to the future of finance, let's talk about SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI, up 68% over the past year. This looks like a bet on the disruption of traditional financial services. What's the thinking behind this pick?
Absolutely. You clearly see SoFi as a long-term player in the fintech space, and I'm intrigued by their strategy of building what they call a financial services productivity loop. Essentially, they're hooking users with simple products like banking apps and then gradually introducing them to more complex offerings like loans and investments. It's a clever approach to building trust and expanding customer relationships.
SoFi's user growth is remarkable. Their strategy of starting with basic banking apps and expanding seems to be paying off. Do you think this land and expand model will be key to success in the fintech space?
It's certainly a compelling model, especially for a generation that's digitally native and expects seamless, personalized financial services. SoFi has gone from 1.8 million users in 2020 to over 10 million today. That's phenomenal growth. And what's even more significant is their recent transition to becoming a full-fledged bank. They're no longer just a fintech disruptor. They're competing head-to-head with traditional institutions.
So they're not shying away from a challenge, but let's be honest, fintech can be a volatile space. What are your thoughts on SoFi's long-term potential given the inherent ups and downs of the market?
You're right, fintech is inherently volatile, and SoFi's stock has certainly seen its share of fluctuations. However, their growth trajectory, their ambition, and their transition to a full-fledged bank suggest they are a force to be reckoned with in the long term.
Okay, we've covered AI, the cloud, and fintech. Now let's venture into a realm that's both fascinating and honestly a bit mind-boggling, the world of quantum computing. And you've not only dipped your toes in, you've chosen two very different players in this space. What drew you to IBM, ticker symbol IBM, a veteran in the tech world, for this portfolio?
IBM has a long history of innovation, and they're not just dabbling in quantum, they're making significant investments. They've developed their Qiskit software platform, which is making quantum computing more accessible to developers and researchers, and they even offer cloud-accessible quantum computers. They're putting this technology in the hands of those who can push its boundaries.
But IBM's stock hasn't exactly been setting the market on fire lately. What makes you believe their quantum efforts will translate into long-term gains?
That's true. IBM's stock has underperformed in recent years, but I believe their early and significant investments in quantum computing could result in a substantial payoff as this market matures. We're talking about a projected compound annual growth rate of 22% through 2030 for the quantum computing market. That's a potential gold mine for those who are patient and believe in the transformative power of this technology.
So IBM represents the slow and steady wins the race approach to quantum computing. But your other pick, IonQ, ticker symbol IONQ, feels a bit more like a venture into the unknown. What's the story there?
IonQ is definitely a higher risk, higher reward play. They're laser focused on building scalable quantum computers, which is an incredibly complex challenge, but also potentially a game changer. They're not just trying to build a quantum computer, they're trying to build one that can be mass produced and deployed across various industries.
That's a bold vision, but how has that gamble been playing out so far?
Well, the stock is currently down from its initial purchase price. But remember, quantum computing is still in its infancy. We're talking about a technology that has the potential to revolutionize everything from drug discovery to material science.
So buckle up. This is a long-term play with the potential for both incredible breakthroughs and significant volatility along the way.
Exactly. The quantum computing landscape is evolving rapidly. IonQ is positioning itself to be a key player, but it's a speculative investment that requires a strong belief in the long-term potential of this game-changing technology.
This portfolio is fascinating. It's a reflection of your expertise and your belief in the power of technology to shape the future. Before we continue our deep dive, let's pause here and let our listener absorb all this information. We'll be back soon to explore some of the broader themes that tie these companies and technologies together. We've just scratched the surface of your impressive portfolio, exploring each company individually. But now I'd love to zoom out and discuss the bigger picture. It's clear you're not just picking random tech stocks. There are some powerful themes running through these choices.
Absolutely. One of the most prominent themes is the transformative power of artificial intelligence. We talked about Broadcom's role in powering AI infrastructure, but the applications extend far beyond that.
Mm.
This technology is revolutionizing industries from healthcare and finance to manufacturing and even art. It's not just about automating tasks, it's about uh, augmenting human capabilities and solving complex problems in ways we never thought possible.
Yeah, it's almost like we're at the beginning of a new industrial revolution, but this time it's driven by intelligence, not just machines. And it seems like you've identified companies that are strategically positioned to lead this revolution.
Precisely. Take Microsoft, for example. Their integration of AI across their entire ecosystem is remarkable. They're not just developing AI algorithms, they're embedding them into products that people use every day, making them more intuitive, more efficient, and more powerful.
Right, and their AI integration in Teams, where it manages documents and suggests edits, is a great example of this. It's not just a flashy feature; it's fundamentally changing how people work and collaborate. But Microsoft isn't the only company in your portfolio that's betting big on the future of the internet. Your choice of Cloudflare also stands out.
Cloudflare is playing a critical role in shaping the internet's infrastructure, making it faster, more reliable, and more secure. And their commitment to innovation is evident in the breadth of their services. From content delivery and DDoS protection to serverless computing and edge functions. They're not just providing a platform, they're creating a comprehensive ecosystem for developers and businesses to build the next generation of internet applications.
Yeah, and this brings us to another key theme woven throughout your portfolio. The undeniable rise of cloud computing. It's the foundation upon which so much of the digital world is built. From AI and the Internet of Things to the metaverse, it seems like everything relies on the cloud. You've chosen companies like Microsoft with Azure, IBM with their hybrid cloud offerings, and even Cloudflare, which is building its own distributed cloud network. It seems you're not just betting on the cloud, you're exploring different approaches within this rapidly evolving space.
Exactly. The cloud is not a monolithic entity. It's a diverse landscape with different players specializing in various aspects of cloud infrastructure and services. By diversifying your cloud holdings, you're essentially acknowledging this complexity and positioning yourself to benefit from the growth of the cloud ecosystem as a whole.
Right, right. It's a reminder that diversification isn't just about spreading risk across different sectors. It's also about recognizing the nuances within those sectors and selecting companies that represent different facets of a larger trend.
Absolutely. And this brings us to another fascinating theme that's emerging in this portfolio, the convergence of technology and finance, or as we call it, fintech. So SoFi Technology is a perfect example of this convergence. They're not just building a mobile banking app. They're creating a comprehensive financial ecosystem that caters to the needs of a digitally native generation.
Right. Their financial services productivity loop strategy is intriguing, starting with simple products and then gradually introducing more complex offerings like loans and investments. It's a smart approach to building trust and deepening customer relationships. And their recent transition to becoming a full-fledged bank signals their ambition to challenge the traditional financial institutions on their own turf.
Right. They're not just disrupting the industry, they're becoming part of its fabric. They're bridging the gap between the old and the new, leveraging technology to provide innovative financial solutions while also navigating the complexities of regulation and compliance.
It's like they're learning the rules of the game while simultaneously changing them. It's fascinating to see how these themes, AI, cloud, fintech, are interconnected. AI is being used to personalize financial services, cloud computing is providing the infrastructure for fintech platforms, and even quantum computing has the potential to revolutionize areas like risk management and fraud detection in the financial industry.
It's all part of a larger tapestry of technological advancement that's reshaping our world. The lines between these technologies are blurring, creating a complex and dynamic ecosystem of innovation. And that's where the real opportunities lie.
Right.
At the intersections, where these forces collide and create something entirely new.
Right, right. And let's not forget the most mind-boggling theme of all, quantum computing. We've discussed IBM's steady progress and IonQ's ambitious vision, but what excites you most about the potential of quantum computing?
What excites me is that we're still at the very early stages of understanding the potential of this technology. It's a realm where the rules of classical physics no longer apply. where bits can be both 0 and 1 simultaneously, leading to exponential increases in computational power. This could revolutionize fields like drug discovery, material science, cryptography, and artificial intelligence itself.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like we're peering into a different dimension
Mm.
where the possibilities are limitless. But with such uncharted territory, there's also a degree of uncertainty and risk.
Absolutely. Investing in quantum computing is a bet on the future. A bet that these mind-boggling concepts will eventually translate into real-world applications and tangible value. It requires patience, a tolerance for risk, and a strong belief in the transformative power of this emerging technology.
Okay. This deep dive into your portfolio has been truly enlightening. It's a testament to the power of combining deep technical expertise with a forward-thinking investment strategy. It's not just about picking stocks, it's about understanding the underlying forces that are shaping the future and identifying the companies that are poised to capitalize on them.
And it's a reminder that we're living in an era of unprecedented technological advancement. The companies that are shaping this future, the companies in this portfolio, are not just creating new products and services, they're reshaping the very fabric of our society.
Right, right. Before we move on to our final segment, I want to give our listener a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. What stands out to you the most?
It's remarkable how this investor has not only identified promising companies, but has also assembled a portfolio that reflects a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of these technologies. It's a strategic approach that recognizes the convergence of AI, cloud, fintech, and quantum computing as a driving force behind the next wave of innovation.
Yeah. It's inspiring to see someone leveraging their expertise to not just participate in this technological revolution, but to potentially shape its trajectory. Are you ready to delve into what we can learn from this investor's approach?
Absolutely. Let's explore the key takeaways and see what insights we can glean that might help us all navigate this complex and rapidly evolving technological landscape.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the intricacies of AI chipsets to the mind-bending possibilities of quantum computing. But now let's shift our focus to what we can all learn from this investor's approach. What are the key takeaways that we can apply to our own understanding of the tech landscape and maybe even our own investment strategies?
I think the most striking takeaway is the importance of domain expertise. This investor isn't just following trends. Their deep understanding of the technology sector is clearly informing their choices. They're seeing the potential where others might just see hype.
Right.
You
It's
know,
like the difference between reading a restaurant review and actually having a refined palate. You can appreciate the nuances and make judgments based on more than just surface level impressions. So, lesson one, invest in what you know.
exactly. Don't just chase the hottest stock tip. Invest the time to understand the technologies and the industries that genuinely interest you. That's where you'll find the insights that lead to truly informed decisions.
Right, right. And it's not just about picking individual companies. This portfolio highlights the importance of identifying long-term trends. AI, cloud computing, the convergence of technology and finance, these aren't just buzzwords, they're forces that are reshaping the world.
This investor is clearly thinking long-term, betting on the companies that are building the future, not just reacting to the present. It's a reminder that patience and a willingness to ride out the inevitable market fluctuations can be incredibly rewarding.
So, deep expertise, long-term vision. Anything else we should be taking away from this deep dive?
Diversification is key. Even with a focus on cutting-edge tech, this portfolio isn't putting all its eggs in one basket. There's a mix of established giants like Microsoft and more speculative plays like IonQ.
Right. It's like a well-balanced meal for your portfolio. Bit of protein, some healthy carbs, and maybe a touch of something adventurous for flavor.
Exactly. It's about understanding that the future is uncertain and spreading your bets across different sectors and different approaches within those sectors. It mitigates risk while still allowing you to participate in the growth of exciting new industries.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. It's not just about analyzing a portfolio. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of the forces shaping the technological landscape and how we can all be a part of it. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listener with one final thought. We've explored this investor's journey, but what about your own? What emerging technologies are you most excited about, and how might you explore those areas, whether it's through investments, learning, or simply engaging with the ideas?
That's a great question to ponder. This portfolio is a snapshot of one person's vision of the future, but we all have the opportunity to create our own. So what are you passionate about? What problems do you want to see solved? Where do you see the greatest potential for positive change? Those are the questions that will guide you on your own journey of exploration and discovery.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this portfolio with you. I hope our listener is walking away feeling inspired, informed, and maybe even a little bit more optimistic about the future. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.